I have the opportunity of visiting with Eva today. She is one of our 12th grade students in our My Tech High program. And Eva recently had the opportunity of attending Freedom Leadership Academy. And Eva, can you tell us a little bit about what Freedom Leadership Academy is?
Yeah, so it's a camp run by the Utah Army National Guard and Utah Air National Guard, designed for leaders, youth leaders in the community who are juniors going into their senior year to be able to meet with each other and do different leadership exercises, learn about freedom to help them be better leaders in their next school year.
That is awesome. What a cool experience for you. So I heard at Freedom Leadership Academy, they have two contests, and one amazing young woman happened to win both of those. Can you tell us about that?
Um, yeah, so they have a speech contest and a talent contest. And the speech contest is super simple. It was just a contest where you write 5-minute, 4-minute long speech on freedom, and you talk about why freedom is important to you. And I spoke in that contest, and I spoke about how freedom gives us the ability to have diversity, how it allows us to be who we are. And that's why it's so important, because if we didn't have freedoms, we wouldn't be ourselves. And I won that contest. And then they have a talent contest. And in that contest, I also participated and I sang a song. Um, and I also won that contest. I don't know what else
That
you
is
want to know, but
amazing.
yeah.
That's so cool. Your speech sounds amazing. Like, what a cool thing. Did you create it while you were at Freedom Leadership Academy, or did you have the opportunity to do it beforehand?
I thought about it a little bit beforehand because they had released the topic beforehand and kind of the rules, but I didn't start writing until I got there. And I spent a while writing at nights when we got into the barracks, just working on the speech. So yeah, I wrote it there.
That is amazing. Well, congratulations on both of those. That is
Thank
exciting.
you.
Okay, so I heard you did a lot of fun things at Freedom Leadership Academy. Can you tell us about some of those fun things you did and some of the things that you loved?
Oh man, this it's impossible to just like summarize everything we did. There were so many incredible things. Each day we had new opportunities and new things. We got to focus on the Air National Guard for one day. We got to focus on the Army National Guard for one day. We went to the Capitol building. We went to the courthouse and saw a court case. Two, actually. We saw a hearing and we also saw a sentencing. And we went to the news station. We did all kinds of amazing things. I think the best part, though, was probably getting to be with all the people and doing all those things with all the amazing people that were there.
That is so great. Awesome. Okay, in 10 years, when you look back on Freedom Leadership Academy, what's one thing that you will have learned and like still use in your life, do you think?
That is, I think, the biggest center of all of Freedom Academy was to, again, teach us about freedom and what it means. And I think one of the biggest things that I took with me was that all our counselors, the whole staff, everyone who's running it, were different people in the military who were doing this for us. And that showed me how valuable they find freedom. And that all of them are willing to put themselves at risk. Every single person that I had talked to had been deployed previously and had dealt with different things. And one thing that I took seriously from that is that not only are they willing to spend their entire week sleeping in a barracks with a bunch of kids to teach about freedom, but that they're willing to risk their lives. And so what I really learned was that freedom is so valuable, and you need to learn what you will do to keep your freedom and to help others keep theirs. And that is a huge part of being an American and a leader, is helping
Oh,
others with their freedom and holding yours.
that is so beautiful. I also love that like they put so much emphasis on like you, right? Like you as a leader. They do all of this to support you. I think that's so wonderful. So, if you had to tell someone who wanted to apply for Freedom Leadership Academy in the future, but they were just undecisive of what they should do, what would you tell them?
Like, what do you mean? Like, if they should apply or not? Or,
For sure. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I would tell them that it's something that everybody should do, that it's something for everyone. It's not about how amazing of a leader you are or how skilled you are or anything like that. They don't expect you to come perfect. Their goal is not to take a bunch of perfect people and have them meet together. Their goal is to teach people. So no matter what position you're in, no matter how scary it may seem, no matter if you're really good at talking or if you're really quiet, it's for you because the goal is to help you develop and become better. And it is one of the best places to do that.
Hello, today I am talking with Ember Wood. She is a 12th grade student in our My Tech High program, and she recently had the opportunity of attending Freedom Leadership Academy, which is a leadership camp in Utah. And Ember, I'm super excited to hear about some of your experiences today. Ember, could you tell, for anyone who doesn't know about Freedom Academy, can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, so Freedom Academy is kind of it's like I'd say a 6-day leadership course with a few military aspects. It takes place on the Army National Guard base in Camp Williams here in Utah. It's kind of run by the National Guard, and it's just basically a whole week of teaching you and educating you about the freedoms that we have in America and how we can become better leaders and how we can sort of take what we learn there and plant it into our future. So yeah.
That is awesome. Thanks for explaining that. So this is the 61st year that Freedom Academy has been around, which is amazing. Like, I thought that was really cool.
Crazy.
So I was able to follow along on social media while you were at Freedom Academy, and I saw lots of fun things that you guys were able to do. Can you tell us about your favorite activity that you did while you were at Freedom Academy?
My favorite activity, we took like a lot of field trips where we'd go around. We visited Utah State Capitol. We visited a courthouse. I thought that was really fun. That was probably my favorite part. We got to hear from some federal judges, and we got to watch a couple court hearings and a sentencing. So I'd say that was probably my favorite part. It was really cool.
That is really cool. I was able to see some of your field trips that you did, and they looked amazing. I also saw that there were some speakers that came and spoke to you different times. Can you tell me something that you learned from maybe one of the speakers or one of the government officials that you heard from?
Yeah, so one of my favorite speakers that came, her name was Rose. She was a Cambodian refugee, and she just gave us a lot of insight about the freedoms that we have in America and how we often take those for granted, because she came from basically being a refugee and having to live in a refugee camp where she had little to no freedoms at all. And it was really cool to hear from her because she really educated us on how we take things for granted here. And there's other places in the world where people really don't have what we have. And I thought that was really cool. And it was kind of hard to hear about some of the things that she had to say, because what those people go through is really hard. They have to experience a lot of things that I can't even imagine experiencing as a child. Especially her and her family were just so strong to persevere and make it to America, where she found that things were just so much better. And one of the main things that she said that's really stuck with me from that is she said, the freedoms that you have, don't take them for granted. You have to use them. Use your freedoms to your advantage to become a leader, to become a stronger, more passionate human being, and help other people in the world. And I thought that was really cool.
That's beautiful. What an amazing perspective like she has.
Yeah.
That's awesome that she was able to share that with you. Okay, so you said that you enjoyed going to the courthouse, but there's lots of probably other experiences that you had. What is the most memorable experience that you had at Freedom Leadership Academy?
Most memorable, again, I would probably say come from the field trips. We had a prison tour. We got to listen to 3 inmates, and we got to kind of ask them some questions about what their life is like in prison and how they got there. I thought that was really cool just to hear what they had to say. And I also thought it was really grateful that we could ask them questions. One of the things that we had asked them is like, what would they change if they could change anything in the system about being in prison. And I felt like the number one complaint was just more mental health programs, just to help them really learn how to persevere and become better people and rejoin society. And I thought that was really cool that we got to hear from their perspective, not just from government officials or from the police force, but from the inmates who had kind of been a victim of their own crimes. But
Wow, that is awesome. That would be very memorable. Okay,
Yeah.
on top of like listening to speakers and going on tours, it looked like you guys had lots of fun, right?
Yeah,
Awesome.
it
Can you
was so
tell us
fun.
about some of the fun things that you did?
Yeah, so I was actually really scared to go. And I even told my mom, I was like, hey, because we live about 15 minutes away from Camp Williams. I was like, hey, if I call you in an hour after you drop me off, can you please come pick me up? And that's like fully what I was expecting to do going into Freedom Academy, which I'm not to be ungrateful, like no disrespect to anyone who had to, who had volunteered me to go there. But I just was really scared because as an online student, I didn't have any friends there. I didn't really know many people that were going. So I was just kind of scared that I would be alone there. But I made a lot of friends, and we actually still talk to this day. We have this group chat, just sending memes back and forth. So yeah, I'd say the funnest thing was the camaraderie that we shared and the sort of friendships that I made along the way. We were each put into groups, and it was like groups of 8 people. We each had a counselor in our group. And I made really good friends with my group. There were about 6 people that I really jived with. We made really good friends. I probably laughed so much until I cried. So I would say the friendship was definitely the funnest part. And I think it was the group that I had that just made everything so fun. It was like every day, no matter what we did, was really fun.
That is so great. It makes me happy that you had such a great experience and was able to like make lasting friendships. So
Yeah.
Ember, if there was a student in the future who is debating if they should apply to go to Freedom Academy or not, what would you tell them?
I would say just do it. Like I said, it is a little bit scary because you don't know a lot of people, but just do it because the experience you'll have, the friends you'll make will be so worth it, because the things that I learned, I just can't imagine that I didn't know before. Like, wow, I learned so much about the freedoms that we have, but I also made so many friends. And I know that probably someone my age would be listening to this and be like, oh, you make lifelong friends? That's such crap. Like, what the heck? But and I remember listening to that kind of thing when I read the email, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go because that doesn't sound like it would happen, but it totally does. You make so many friends. You learn so much about America and the freedoms that we have, and a lot of the things, like I said, that we take for granted. So yeah, it's a really good experience. I would totally recommend it.
Freedom Academy was so great. Let me tell you, I had absolute time of my life while I was there at Camp Williams, the local military base. I made so many good friends, and I was able to have so much fun and have so many great opportunities when we visited the Utah State Federal Courthouse, or when we went to the new state prison, or to other places like that all over the state. It was so great, and I learned so much about our nation and our freedoms and what it takes to keep our freedoms, and how much money and time and effort goes into keeping us free so we can live just normal lives. I loved it so much, and I was also able to participate in the speech contest, and I actually got 2nd place in that. And me and my good friend, who's also a member of My Tech High, we were both able to coordinate together, and we did a ballet dance together for the talent show, and we actually got 4th place for that, which is really exciting and so much fun doing that. Freedom Academy was so great, and I highly recommend it for anyone. If you ever have the chance, definitely go. I was kind of nervous at first when I was signing up for it, because as I was looking into it, I'm like, I don't know if I'll fit in, because I'm just this weird homeschool kid, and I don't think I'll fit in with all these other public school kids that are coming in. But I was actually really surprised to find out how well I just really did fit in with all these other kids, and how well I was able to just connect with them and have such a great time. When My Tech High sent me the invitation, I am so glad that I took it up. And if you ever get the chance to, you should definitely go to Freedom Academy. It changed my life so much. And I just love my nation so much more, and love everything about living here. You should definitely, if you ever have the chance, you should definitely go.